form a little rough on the landing. He may have to settle for the bronze.
Kato, I want you to take my hand, and I want you to come with me on this adventure.
I'll go with you, but I don't want to touch you.
Okay, you don't have to take my hand, but will you come with me on this adventure?
Hello, everyone. This is Abra007.
With Tyclops.
Welcome to... What's this show called? Settle for the Bronze. Right. I blanked out for a second there. All right.
Oh, okay.
Tyclops, what movie are we discussing this time?
All right, we're discussing the Green Hornet, and the scores as of this time for the Green Hornet are a 43% critics and audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is fascinating because that doesn't usually happen.
That's the first time for us.
Yeah, on this show, yeah. As well as a 5.9 out of 10 on IMDb and a 39% on Metacritic. There are no good reviews. The bi-weekly thing is becoming less bi-weekly. It's kind of bi-weekly. But there aren't any fun critic reviews to bash. So, let's get...
At this point, it's going to be bi-yearly.
Yes.
All right, Tyclops, what are your basic thoughts and recommendation of this movie?
I have no idea why it's rated this low. I have no idea. It's a little... I can understand people saying it's a little divided. It's a little it doesn't quite have a strict, what's the word I'm looking for? A strict identity.
Yeah.
I can understand that, but superhero movie identity. I can understand why people would have that argument, but it doesn't.
It's about duality. Batman Returns. Just keep going.
I don't like. I can see why people would have that problem, but it doesn't seem like it's really a big enough problem to detract from the movie. The tone is very similar. It's consistent. Where everything's just a little bit over the top and nothing is taken too seriously.
Yeah.
It all. I don't know. I was baffled when I looked at the reviews for this because I honestly don't understand why they're so low.
What's your letter grade?
Probably maybe like a B minus. Something like that. Yeah. So closer. I mean, for me at least, that's closer to like an 80 than what was it, 70 or 60 that we were looking at,
or 40.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the other ones were even lower, but yeah, it was 5.9. So yeah. I have no idea why it's rated that low. That really surprises me.
Who would you recommend it to?
I'd recommend it to most people. I'd say it's a fun little thing to watch. It's entertaining. It'll. And you don't have to stay. It's also nice because it's an entertaining movie that doesn't have a super over the top plot, so you don't have to stay invested. You just kind of pick up generally what's going on, and you can have conversations, and it's like a nice party movie sort of thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see much of a problem with it.
Yeah. I'm pretty much on the same track that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
I can't figure out why people really hate this. I think it might be the Seth Rogen factor.
Yeah, you brought this up. That's all.
Seth Rogen has a very particular style of comedy. All of his movies have his stamp on it. It's very clear it's a Seth Rogen movie.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to describe because it's so.
It's pretty much Seth Rogen doing a superhero movie, and it just happens to be the Green Hornet franchise.
Yes, yeah. We know nothing about the Green Hornet radio show or the TV show or the comic. I don't know anything about that. You don't really know anything about
Bruce Lee was Kato. That's all I got.
Yeah. Like that's it. So.
But that being said, just looking at it on his own terms, it's very entertaining.
Yeah, it's a fun
Some
movie.
of the reviews we were looking at said it was boring.
I don't get that at all. I was thinking through the movie actually. This never really lets up. Like there's always something to be enjoying.
You actually leaned over to me a couple times. Like, why do people hate this movie again? And
you did the same thing. Yeah.
I was looking up reviews and I was like, I can't figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, critically, it's not a masterpiece, but it doesn't have to be.
But it's a Seth Rogen comedy.
Yeah,
it's not trying to be.
Exactly. I mean, and
it's not flat out stupid.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have jokes that offend me.
No, not at all.
And it's not like pandering or
the jokes I will say probably fit our humor to a decent extent.
Yeah.
Just like it's I don't know.
I'd probably give it a B, just flat out B.
Okay.
No, it's a solid comedy. I mean, we were laughing consistently throughout it.
Yeah.
It's not boring.
No. I would say I personally I think the only reason I put it like a B minus is that most comedies don't get above like a B for me just in general, like just because they're inherently made with a different purpose than your normal movie.
Yeah.
So I mean they don't always like I don't know. I that's
got
all
nothing.
Yeah.
I'd recommend it to any Seth Rogen fan.
Yeah, it's definitely.
And if you just like, superheroes, but like the more comedic end, like I told you early on, this could kind of fit in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
A little too violent, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
still the tone and the way it feels. Yeah, seems like it could.
I could totally see this Green Hornet interacting with Tony Stark.
Yeah. I think it would fit fine.
I really think the Seth Rogen edge.
And even
threw
the
people
directing is fairly consistent with some of the early.
It's just funny because we recorded Mission Impossible 2 so shortly ago, and that's based solely on how good the action scenes are.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is a comedy, and it had better action sequences. Just better editing, the way it's shot.
Although some people would raise the argument, is it just a comedy? Is it trying to be something else? We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
But yeah, overall, we both recommend it. So here on out, spoilers. Full-on
If you
spoiler
really
discussion.
care.
Yeah, if you really care.
It shouldn't be that big of a
Go
deal.
go check it out.
Yeah, go watch it. Come back.
And if for some reason you didn't find it funny or you thought it was boring the first time, just give it another shot.
Yeah. Go check it out. Listen to us. See what we say. If you still don't like it, give us some comments.
Or if you don't care, don't do anything.
Yes. Like and subscribe if you don't actually want to like and subscribe or leave a comment. So let's get into this spoiler zone. Should we start with the acting? Because obviously Seth Rogen is a major part of this.
Seth Rogen's playing Seth Rogen, but
Seth
that's
Rogen
not a
is
problem.
Seth Rogen, and it's a little more understated than other Seth Rogen is in other movies, and movies that are just definitely straight up comedies set in. His comedies are comedies set. Seth Rogen comedies set to a backdrop of something. Yeah. Like the apocalypse or invading North Korea.
I love This Is the End.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that too. And I actually like The Interview, I think, a lot more than a lot of people.
I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, but anyway.
Besides
yeah. It feels a little more understated and a little more... I mean, it's still obviously very comical, but a little more serious and a little more attempt at kind of some deep acting qualities than previous Seth Rogen movies.
Yeah.
You've got Kato. Kato's good. I don't know the actor's name. There you go. Yeah. He seems fine.
He's fine. Yeah.
Very entertaining. Christoph Waltz, amazing.
My only problem with him is that they don't use him more.
Yeah, they don't use him enough, but he's fine.
I wish they used him.
Yeah, yeah, I can agree with that. But I mean, it's
and like the way he's killed off is just so. Oh, we killed him. We're done.
Yeah, it's anticlimactic. He stabs him in the eyes. And then shoots him.
That's the one time I would say there's a bad edit because there's the motion where he's about to stab him in the eyes, and it immediately cuts to these big spikes are in his eyes.
Yeah, and then they just shoot him and he's dead. And it's like, oh, okay. And I guess maybe you can argue that the real villain was the District Attorney Scanlon. But
I don't care about the District Attorney.
Who does get a fairly cool death scene where the front of the Black Beauty.
I just think it's great because they're like, oh no, he's gonna get away with everything. He's gonna put it all on us. And then Kato's like, oh no, he's not, and they just run him out of the building.
And then the ejector seat callback, which is nice. It's a very typical callback.
I love little callbacks.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's a little more understated too because it kind of makes you by halfway through the movie you kind of assume that he never. When it first comes up, it seems like it was the type of thing where it was like, oh yeah, ejector seats, those are dumb. We're making a point
because they play it off as Kato thinks that's a dumb idea because
so it's like it
seems
seems like it's like making a play at classic superhero tropes.
Yeah,
and then
or in this particular instance, like a James Bond trope.
Yeah, and then it turns out that it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, who's the female actress?
Cameron Diaz.
Yes. She's in this. She's fine.
It's weird. I pointed out the problem. Like, she seems a little too old for this.
Yeah, but they do reference it.
But then they have the whole. There's an extended joke where they're trying to figure out her age, and then she gets mad about it.
Yeah, and then.
I honestly, I was telling you while we were watching it again that like an Emma Stone type, I think would have fit.
See, I feel like Emma Stone would have been a little too young. I brought up after
the movie came out in 2011.
I brought up that after you said that, I think that Emma Watson would have been a good fit for that role simply because, the main inspiration for me thinking that was because This Is the End. She shows up in there, and it works though because she's like about the same age, a little younger than all of them, and it just kind of.
I don't know. Is Emma Stone around their age? I don't know.
I don't know if she is, but she seems a little younger, even if she's not. I don't know. But either way, basically the acting.
I guess that's really before her career.
The casting seems. I mean, it never really comes out to a huge, payoff anyway. She never gets with either of them really or anything. So
I don't really like that conflict though.
Yeah,
where they're fighting over her.
Although I don't mind it as much because it's not so blatantly Batman and Robin. It's not so blatantly like oh, they're fighting over the girl. It's there's all these. I like that they actually set up that there's all these little things that like Seth Rogen's very arrogant and character's very arrogant and claims a lot of what or responsibility for a lot of what Kato actually accomplishes and stuff like that. So. I like that they make it like lots of little flaws, even though it's very obvious from the beginning that there's going to be tension and that it's not subtle enough, I don't think, but it's a comedy, so I mean, but it doesn't just do the cop out of, well, we need a conflict. Here's a conflict.
It's a fairly broad comedy. There's not a whole lot of subtlety.
Yeah, but it
doesn't need that.
It doesn't. It's still not straight up lazy writing. Yeah. I would argue. So that's nice.
I feel like they actually tried to put a script together, which is nice.
Yeah, that's usually a good thing.
I appreciate
Typically, good movies have scripts that actually tried to be scripts and not, I don't even know. What's...
Commercials.
Sure.
Batman and Robin.
Sure. yeah, I don't know. I can't think of a good script analogy, but anyway.
we're completely blanking here. We don't really have a whole lot to say about this movie because we're just confused as to why people hate it.
Yeah.
I guess one of the other things that I wanted to tackle was the way they portray the Green Hornet. Because the whole joke is he's an incompetent, rich douchebag who hates his father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's... and then it turns out that his father... was also a jerk.
He was still a dick, but he was a good guy.
Yeah, and he turned away Scanlan, and I mean,
is he too much of is the Green Hornet too much of an incompetent jerk for too long a period?
I would argue that, yeah, he doesn't transform quite as quickly.
Up until the last 30 minutes, right before the
last half of the last act, it kind of feels like it doesn't. He. Yeah, it's he doesn't
pretty much up until he
have
realizes
any sort of character development, and then he flips once he realizes that his dad was actually like a good guy and was killed.
It would have been nice if they had shown as they were fighting more crime, he was getting better.
Yeah. But it kind of and I can remember thinking at certain fight scenes where it was like, oh, they're going with the angle of. He's not really beating up anybody.
Kato's taking them all out, and then he's kicking them after the fact.
Yeah, and so they make it very clear how much more competent Kato is. Yeah. I don't know. I can see why people would have problems with that.
I have a bit of a problem with it, but like I said, it's a Seth Rogen comedy, so I'm not holding it up to that standard.
There is still enough that I can buy that these characters are going through this transformation. The characters feel fairly real because it's a Seth Rogen comedy and they're all kind of a little bit of jerks, but they all have their own plans and motives, but they're still people in the end. I mean, it's yeah.
Can I just say this movie has a very weird assortment of cameos.
Yep. Yeah,
because you have James Franco at the
obviously
beginning.
It's a Seth Rogen movie. You gotta have James Franco in there,
and he's got a great cameo.
Yeah. He plays the beginning crime club owner guy who wants to,
and he's smack talking Chudnovsky.
Yeah, and then Chudnovsky kills him with his fancy, or no, he kills his guards with his fancy double gun, and then blows up his club.
What were you saying? I'm not scary.
Yeah.
I've got a gun with 2 barrels. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, it is. Which is a cool. I admit. It's cool. It's cool gun. But yeah,
and then Edward Furlong, John Connor from Terminator 2, shows up as a drug dealer who gets attacked by the Green Hornet.
And then gets killed by Chudnovsky.
Yeah.
That was very odd.
And then Edward James Olmos is the newspaper editor. That's not so much a cameo, but it's just
also random dude who I only know from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. recently, he plays a blind guy, a blind Inhuman.
Yeah,
and
he's Chudnovsky's right hand man who gets shot.
It's just I don't know. The entire movie I was recognizing random people. Also Tyrese from The Walking Dead. Yeah, that was the other one I noticed.
And
is one of his bodyguards.
The Green Hornet's dad.
Yeah.
It's Carmine Falcone from Batman Begins.
As well as the secretary from Mission Impossible 4, which is relevant because our last video.
Because movie.
Yeah. Because we're talking about movies, that's why it's relevant.
That's why I thought.
Yeah. But yeah, so again, the acting is not really a problem with this movie unless you don't like Seth Rogen. And the plot, it's straightforward, but it runs along well, more or less.
It's not. I mean, it's an origin story, but it doesn't feel like an origin story. Like, I'm not constantly going, oh, this is that bit of the origin story. Oh, this is that bit of the origin story. It doesn't.
Yeah,
I'm not noticing that stuff.
No, I agree. It's fairly organic, and
I especially like the twist on the normal superhero trope where he's like, most superheroes, they're known to the public as being superheroes.
Yeah.
So all the villain has to do is hurt a bunch of innocent people, and then the superhero comes running.
Uh-huh.
We need to be the bad guys, or act like the bad guys,
so that the villains don't try and inherit innocence to get it. Yeah. It's although they end up doing that anyway.
Well,
but
that's for a separate reason.
Yeah. That's because the news stuff. They were trying to hype up the Green Hornet and all that. So yeah, I mean it's. I don't know. It does play a little. It doesn't go too far into the subverting expectations, subverting the tropes range, but it's still,
which I think is one of the people's
critic, and I guess that's fair. If you really wanted that, they could have done that. But
I guess, do we want to move into that part, like the case of mistaken identity?
Yeah, which is
for some movies, I would argue that's a huge flaw.
Yes, definitely.
And I don't know if we've already done some of those. I don't quite remember.
We have done some. I can't remember. We'll think
Prometheus kind of has that a little bit.
Batman Forever, we mentioned that.
Yeah, it has a little bit of that. But we'll get to some others. I have a couple in mind specifically, but I don't want to mention them right now.
Yeah.
It'll leave you on the edge of your seat.
Yes.
But it does, to a certain extent. But since it's a comedy, I guess it's just because comedies in general, I just hold up to a different standard.
I guess.
Because the point of a comedy is not to have these amazing, fully fleshed out characters or this amazing plot. It's is it entertaining and does it make you laugh?
Yeah.
And this movie does both, so I don't really care about everything else.
I agree. And again, the tone is not wacky and weird. The tone doesn't ever like send you out of the movie because people are dying a lot throughout the movie without it being like a major thing. And they don't make death a major part of the plot at all.
Often
except for his dad.
They try and put a comical spin on it.
Yeah, and they do little things. So I mean, it's not. The tone doesn't really pose much of an issue. It's more just the fact of little it does feel like it's floundering a little bit as far as where exactly it wants to be. But for the most part, it's just trying to be entertaining. That seems to be its main point, and it's succeeding.
Yeah.
Because
were people expecting it to
maybe
fully
I don't know.
Be
I know it's Seth Rogen, but maybe it's
just like a full in-depth examination of superhero movies and trying to make fun of that.
That's because if you want to boil down to what it seems to come down to, you've got a comedy that seems to be its main goal. It's also trying to be a superhero subversion superhero movie, I guess. And it also seems, I don't know. I guess kind of like you can almost argue it's going for the exploration of like a buddy cop movie, sort of thing. A la The Other Guys, something like that. So I mean, it's I don't know what you could argue is really detracting from it, because none of those really conflict with each other. But
I'm just so confused because usually when we look at movies, we're looking at them with such a super critical eye. It's like, oh, is this not working? Oh, then that means the movie's terrible.
Yeah.
But in this case, all the complaints that people are throwing at it, I just go, I don't really care.
And there's not, I don't think the complaints are as bad with this one either. I don't think it's as much of a problem. Overall, really bizarre to me that it's rated low.
I think it's just because it didn't match up with what people were expecting.
Yeah. I don't know what more we can say on it. I think
the action scenes are great.
The action scenes are fun, yeah.
They're not ridiculous and over the top, but they're glorious.
It's not Kingsman, but it's not Mission Impossible 2. But yeah, it's
you can tell what's going on.
It's above average action.
It's creative, especially the car chase scenes. Those are pretty awesome.
And the stuff with Kato slowing down time and all that. It's fine with me. I enjoyed the whole movie. There's nothing that took me out of the movie. There's nothing that made me
I kind of regret, this movie not getting like a sequel.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it would have been interesting to see where it would have gone.
I agree.
Comedy sequels usually fail, but if you have a superhero franchise,
a superhero franchise that's comedy, you would think you could
that's
do something.
weird.
Yeah.
Like,
to be fair,
as much as people love to point that out about like the MCU and how all those movies are comedies.
Yeah, they're not comedies.
Yeah,
like
they've got a lot of comedic relief.
They're lighthearted.
Yeah,
not comedies.
I would say they're more fun than funny.
Yes, definitely.
Whereas this is more. Well, this is both funny and fun. So, yeah, I think we might want to cut this one short because we're running out of things to say.
I agree.
Please go check out this movie again, or see it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, go give it a second glance. Tell us what you didn't like about it, because we're kind of confused.
And if it's just Seth Rogen, I mean, I guess that's a taste issue.
Yeah, that's fair enough, but it's not something we can really.
It's a solid comedy with great action.
It's a comedy that relies on your taste in humor, which is probably what I would argue is what most comedy should do. So
yeah.
I mean, it means that it is humor based, regardless of whether you like it or not. So,
yeah.
There we go.
I think we're done.
Yeah. Next week,
2 weeks from now,
I believe, if I'm correct, we should be discussing The Bourne Legacy.
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
Yes, we are. So, tune in next time. Should be a fun time.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
All right.
I gotta throw in a Batman reference every once in a while.
Yeah. Wait, did we mention Christopher Nolan this time?
We mentioned Batman and Robin.
Okay, close enough. We're done. Good night, everybody.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
But it doesn't seem like it's really a big enough problem to detract from the movie. The tone is very similar. It's consistent. Where everything's just a little bit over the top, and nothing is taken too seriously.
Yeah.
It all. I don't know. I was baffled when I looked at the reviews for this, because I honestly don't understand why they're so low.
What's your letter grade?
Probably maybe like a B minus, something like that. Yeah. So closer. I mean, for me at least, that's closer to like an 80 than what was it, 70 or 60 that we were looking at,
or 40.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the other ones were.
Ooh, nice form, a little rough on the landing. He may have to settle for the bronze.
Kato, I want you to take my hand, and I want you to come with me on this adventure.
I'll go with you, but I don't want to touch you.
Okay, you don't have to take my hand, but will you come with me on this adventure?
Hello, everyone. This is Abra007.
With Tyclops.
Welcome to... What's this show called? Settle for the Bronze. Right. I blanked out for a second there. All right.
Oh, okay.
Tyclops, what movie are we discussing this time?
All right, we're discussing The Green Hornet. And
recommendation of this movie.
I have no idea why it's rated this low. I have no idea. It's a little... I can understand people saying it's a little divided. It's a little not. It doesn't quite have a strict. What's the word I'm looking for? A strict identity.
Yeah.
I can understand that, but superhero movie identity. I can understand why people would have that argument, but it doesn't.
It's about duality. Batman Returns. Just keep going.
I don't like. I can see why people would have that problem lower, but yeah, it was 5.9. So yeah. I have no idea why it's rated that low. That really surprises me.
Who would you recommend it to?
I'd recommend it to most people. I'd say it's a fun little thing to watch. It's entertaining. It'll, and you don't have to stay. It's also nice because it's an entertaining movie that doesn't have a super over the top plot, so you don't have to stay invested. You just kind of you pick up generally what's going on, and you can have conversations, and it's like a nice party movie sort of thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see much of a problem with it.
Yeah. I'm pretty much on the same track that you're on.
And the scores as of this time for The Green Hornet are a 43% critics and audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is fascinating because that doesn't usually happen.
That's the first time for us.
Yeah, on this show, yeah. As well as a 5.9 out of 10 on IMDb and a 39% on Metacritic. There are no good reviews. The bi-weekly thing is becoming less bi-weekly. It's kind of bi-weekly. But there aren't any fun critic reviews to bash. So, let's get...
At this point, it's going to be bi-yearly.
Yes.
All right, Zach, what are your basic thoughts? And
I